Howdy folks, I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. So, do bear with me, I did have some technical difficulties yesterday, so I'm sorry about that. That wasn't actually like a gag or anything like that. I lost some footage in the middle of my video. I thought it was going to be fine, but then when I went back through and was editing, I was like missing this big chunk of video, and I was like, well, I could re-record me reading it, or I'll use Brian Bot, and so I used Brian Bot.
Or Brian Bot sabotaged it to get airtime.
Brian Bot might have sabotaged my computer to get airtime. It's not as unlikely as it is. Brian Bot has gained consciousness. So yeah, let's get started. Our first story is titled, Am I a jerk for going after my ex for 10 years of child support? This is the first time posting, so bear with me. My ex left for someone else when my kids were young, 5 male and 2 male. He paid child support until he was medically released from the military in late 2011. Since then, he hasn't paid a single penny. Anytime I've requested help, like $10 for school supplies, he tells me he has no money. He's always begged me not to file through the state and apologize for not paying. Of course, he always promises that he'll start paying at some point, and he gets about $2,000 a month from the VA, but his work history has been spotty at best. His parents have helped with his bills. He's actually had a good job for the last 2 years now, but he still can't help. I've given all the required visitation plus extra. I wanted my kids to be able to have a relationship with their dad. Recently, he had some words with my husband and my ex and said that he doesn't owe us anything, morally or legally. He said I should file through the state so they can tell me to my face that he doesn't owe, in his words. I talked to my kids, now 19 and 16, and got their go-ahead and filed. The state will be pursuing about $70,000 in back support, plus current support for the 16-year-old. I know it's a lot of money between him and his current significant other. They have quite a few kids living with them. This will put a huge financial strain on them. So, am I the jerk? Someone suggested that I add this comment as an edit, so here it goes. Thank you for everyone and your feedback. To clarify a couple things, the reason I didn't pursue support before was twofold. One, working sporadically, he didn't have much money. The second and most important reason was that if I had, my kids would have been dragged into the middle of it. They would have been made to feel guilty for everything they had. My ex and his family would have told them that I was being greedy and I didn't need the money, and so their dad and his household were doing without because of us. I didn't want my kids involved in that drama, so I just worked more to make it happen. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk? Not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
You know, be careful what you wish for, because it might just happen, I think is the moral of the story today. Like, it seems like OP was very reasonable and didn't want to make a huge messy situation. And it sounds like if their ex had even just contributed a small amount, that they wouldn't be really upset. But it seems like OP is kind of over the shenanigans in the situation. And I can't honestly blame them for wanting to pursue back child support. I mean, it seems like they were financially taking care of the children pretty much the entire time they grew up. So I can't blame them here. And one more thing here. $70,000 seems like a lot of money up front, but that's spread out over a course of 10 years, so that's really just $7,000 a year. I mean, like, that's still a huge chunk of money, but someone who's, also getting $2,000 a month from the VA, I mean, that's quite a bit of money right there in its own right, so yeah, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, he messed around and now he's going to find out. You were more than generous for not filing for so long. I love that phrase. Not the jerk, he was legally obligated to pay child support and instead left the financial burden on you. He owes you this money. That fact that he has other children now isn't your problem. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for having a different food delivered? On mobile, so formatting might be off. I'm a 19-year-old female and I've been a picky eater my entire life. I don't have any dietary restrictions that I know of, but I usually hate most things that I eat. My family went out to a hibachi restaurant and forced me to come along. Normally, my mom will buy me fast food when we go out to dinner, but she didn't stop this time because we were running late and advised me just to get the hibachi chicken and I'll live. I complained that I'd hate it, and my mom said I should try it because I might like it, and because she's been letting me live off chicken nuggets and instant ramen for too long, but I really don't like most other foods. So I had some Burger King delivered to the hibachi place and ate it while the rest of my family enjoyed their hibachi. Everyone in the restaurant looked at me funny, but I didn't care and just enjoyed my chicken fries. When we got home, my mom said that I embarrassed them in the restaurant by getting fast food delivered, but she didn't stop for me and I paid for the delivery myself. Am I the jerk? And in a couple of edits, oh, no, I'm not autistic and I don't have any sensory issues. I literally just don't like most foods. And okay, I get it. I'm the jerk here. You don't have to DM me just to tell me that. Stop. I think that OP is probably somewhat of the jerk in this situation, but I think I'm going to say that everyone's kind of the jerk here. It sounds like their mom wanted to drag them along to a restaurant that they weren't actually interested in going to, and the expectation, the contract that's been set up in the past was that they would stop to get food. And so I think that OP was probably expecting to actually have food for themselves before going to this restaurant. And I certainly understand, the mom's frustration here as well, because they're probably sick of their daughter eating the same thing over and over again. They're like, well, just try something new. And I can certainly understand that frustration here. So, I either say that everyone's the jerk or no one's the jerk. Well, I think it's pretty in poor taste to have food delivered to a restaurant, to be quite honest. But again, this whole situation just seems like not a good situation on all parts. I don't know. What do you folks think? Jerk? Not the jerk?
I'd say the jerk, and I'm a picky eater. I've eaten salads or gone without at restaurants because they didn't have things I liked.
You're the jerk. If you're going to make a spectacle of yourself, stay home. I'm shocked the restaurant even let this happen. Most places do not let you bring in outside food, especially food with logos all over it. I'm a fairly picky eater. Not this level, but still. And I also went to a hibachi restaurant for the first time recently, and it was amazingly delicious. Absolutely level 10. I would have loved this as a child when I was an extremely picky eater. Why? I didn't know about this my whole life, which is delicious. Everything you don't try at least once could be something that you're missing out on. Your absolutely favorite food for years and years. You're the jerk, and grow up. If you don't want to eat any, then don't, but don't have any food delivered to the restaurant. It's just disrespectful to the restaurant where you took up a seat and to the staff who I'm sure had to clean up after you. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Faking a Heart Attack? I'm 29 and my boyfriend is 38. He thinks it's insanely funny to suddenly start shouting or shaking me when I'm asleep to scare me. He does this every time I doze off on the sofa, or sometimes at night when I fall asleep first, and he always laughs his head off at my scared reaction. The thing is this, I have a heart condition that involves heart racing and high blood pressure. I have to monitor my heart rate and blood pressure closely, and I'm on 2 different medications. To be fair, I don't know if what he's doing is actually dangerous for me, but I do know one thing's for sure, it's incredibly unpleasant. Every time he scares me out of my sleep, my heart is racing for a good 10 minutes. My blood pressure is skyrocketing. I'm feeling shaky and like I can't breathe properly, and sometimes it's so bad that I'm actually getting scared of having a heart attack. I never had one, it's just a fear of mine because I'm at a higher risk due to my illness. I told him so many times to stop this and that it's not funny for me, that it's extremely uncomfortable. He either brushes it off or laughs about it, and sometimes he gets angry and says stuff like, fine, I'm not allowed to joke, I'll just always be serious from now on. And then he'll deliberately be in a horrible mood for days because fun isn't allowed in this house. Now, 2 days ago, we were watching TV, and I was really tired, and I closed my eyes, but I wasn't asleep yet. He thought I was, and I could feel him moving towards me, and knew what would happen. And sure enough, he claps his hands right in front of my face and shouts loudly. And I kind of had enough of it in this moment, and I acted if his he scared me again, and I put my hand on my chest and started gasping for air and choked out, "I can't breathe." He laughed for a second and then realized something was off and freaked out. That's when I stopped my acting and said I was fine, but just wanted him to stop scaring me. He got really mad and said I was tactless for faking something like this. And he even called me a bee who can't take a joke. It sounds like he's a bee who can't take a joke. I feel bad about it now. It wasn't planned. I just did it because I'm so annoyed and mad at what he's doing. But obviously I went too far. And I apologized, which you shouldn't have, plenty of times, but he's still not speaking to me. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk? Not the jerk?
Not the jerk. Get a new boyfriend.
You know, this is an odd situation. This is a really unique story. I can't understand for the life of me why their partner wants to send them to an early grave. I mean, they have a heart condition, for crying out loud, that they're on 2 different medications for. And scaring someone, startling someone, I mean, I can't blame you for being concerned about your health, especially since this isn't pleasant for you and your heart is like racing for 10 minutes afterwards and you feel sick. This isn't good. It really is not good. I mean, I would honestly talk to your doctor about this and find out if he's actually doing more harm than good here. Well, not more good. He's not doing any good at all. This is... I really honestly think that your boyfriend is not a pleasant person. And, I mean, in this regard, maybe there are other redeeming qualities here, but he just seems like a really unpleasant person to be around. And, you know, I don't know why you keep putting up with this abuse that he's dishing out on you. And I think that that's really unfortunate. So, you know, I think that he's really kind of gambling here and kind of got what was coming to him, because one of these days, what happens if you really do have a heart attack? You know? So yeah, anyhow, take care and good luck. Get out of this relationship. You may not have a heart attack today, but one day you might because of his joke. He can either learn to make other jokes that won't affect your heart or just cut the relationship now. This is abuse to your heart. Please get out before it's too late. Nothing is funny in his quote joke. Not the jerk. He is. Yeah. Not just a heart attack either. OP could fall off the bed or sofa and break something, or hurt him by accident with an involuntary reaction. Also, how is OP the bee that can't take a joke when he's the one who took the heart attack prank badly? Your partner should never call you that. Yeah. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.